This is Ravensbruck concentration camp in Fürstenberg to the north of Berlin. This is the house of the commandant, and just to give you a little bit of idea of the location, this is the entrance to the concentration camp itself. We've got the lake down there and we've got SS housing here. In the book autobiography by Odette Sanson, she describes how when she was brought here from the railway train, there was the SS officers sunning themselves in the summer of 1944 without even noticing the columns of prisoners who were coming in. And at the end of the day, why should they? Because they'd be constantly coming in. Beyond this administration building, we've got the garages, and beyond that is the camp. So from the house, the commandant would have seen the people who were coming in constantly, as would his family. I'm going to take you in here. Now, there is actually a recording on at the same time, so I'm going to have to speak over it whilst giving you this real estate tour. Now, this was used, this house, by the Soviet army and then the Russian army until 1993. Now, coming in here, we've got this magnificent sitting room. There'd have been a really big fireplace there. The fireplace was probably stolen by the Soviets when they occupied this area on the 30th of April 1945. But a great open plan area here. I think this was the kitchen. That's my guess. And through here would have been the pantry. Only the Soviets, the Russians, you put a bath in here, put a bath in the pantry. Well, at least I suppose they put a bath in. And obviously it's now we've got this exhibition. I will mention the wife here, though, one of them now, Anna Kegel, who was the wife of the first commandant. She was a really nasty piece of work. Elfriede Sören, who was the wife of Fritz Sören, she clearly was as a person much nicer. Toilet. Sitting room. I suppose that was a study. Now here's something. Oh, there's a beam there, and I have to duck to get under the beam. So it just shows this wasn't built for a tall blonde iron such as myself. It was built for somebody racially inferior to me. Little joke there. This was meant to be the nursery, and either that or the guest room. But outside you can see where the flower pots would have been. Great for sitting watching the prisoners coming in from the balcony. Either guest room or child's room, something like that, but without the access to the balcony. Oh, and here we've got some photographs taken at the time the Soviets, well, these ones are taken at the time the Soviets, or Russians by that time, pulled out. And here you've got a Soviet officer, and this dates to May 1945, so that would have been only a few days after liberation. very large landing. Maybe that was a bit of an exaggeration, but I think we could have been slightly better prepared. But anyway, I'm looking at his point of view as a person who once worked in real estate. Bathroom, good size. Bear in mind the fittings. Well, the fittings are probably Soviet, to be quite honest. So they could be slightly better, but then again, sort of reminds me of in my grandmother's house, which actually was older than this one. And this is the master bedroom. And from here, there's no view of what was going on outside inside the camp was concerned. Camp was on the other side, so there we have a road around the edge of the camp. And built-in wardrobe. And here we have an exhibition of what happened after the war. Access to the loft, possibly via a ladder. Having another look at the cross beam here, which I have to duck to get under. Oh, and I almost forgot to point this one out. Here, there would have been access to a cellar as well, but I think it's locked. Yeah, it's locked. Oh, and here, look at this. A newspaper, but we haven't got the date of it on it. So, there you have it. That's how the SS lived whilst the prisoners were coming in and out. And that links in with the recollections of Odette Sanson. Unfortunately, the doors makes a bit of a bang. Before coming here, I remembered reading the book by Odette Sanson. And now I read this book, I was 10 years old. So it's been a while. Not only that, I went straight to the bit. First thing I did was I went straight to the bit for when she was captured in 1942 in Paris to when she was taken here. And then I read the rest of it. And I got this book because I was given, one of the neighbours had a pile of books which were about to be thrown out. And so I went to their garage and I picked out probably around 2/3 of them to keep. I do remember I didn't take the James Bond book. And they asked me, don't you want a James Bond? And I said, I don't like James Bond, which I regretted later because I started to like James Bond. But anyway, I would like to have read this, at least this account of her arrival here again. Now, because now I'm trying to remember things which happened 50 years ago. Which something I read 50 years ago, which is actually putting it, making it somewhat difficult to do. Now there's 4 such houses here. I think the other 3 aren't empty though. Are empty and there's no access to them. And this is the commandant's back garden, so to speak. And he wouldn't have had wheelchair access either. Now, I think this luxury does stand out, of course, in absolute contrast to what was going on below. Have to bear in mind, though, that these commandants, they'd worked their way up through the system. Well, actually, that's not entirely true in the case of Fritz Sören. He came into it a bit late, but the first commandant, he was in the beginning. He was at the Columbia House in Berlin in 1934. Anyway, I'll do separate videos with details of them in. So I hope you found that interesting. I upload every Friday at 2000 hours, and videos largely from Poland and from Germany, and so lots of them doing from trips like this through Germany, visiting former Nazi memorial sites. So I hope you'll subscribe, and if you do, then you'll know when I'm uploading. So don't just upload it Friday at 2000 hours, sometimes upload it other times as well. But for the moment, it's all the best from me in Germany, and thanks for watching. And whilst I'm here, I just point out you can see very clearly the balcony, and you can also see there's a window in the loft which wasn't which we didn't have access to, but it's a pretty big loft, that one. Also the cellar looks rather on the large side as well. Anyway, couldn't get in that either. So thanks for watching, all the best, and bye for now.